Today is June 22nd, 2025, and last night the United States bombed Iran, further escalating a global conflict that has been going on for a very long time and will continue to go on until humanity realizes that we are trying to solve an internal problem by external means. My last name is Cohen. My people are from Israel. I was in the United States Marine Corps. I fought in the Middle East. I am intimately familiar with what is driving humans to do the things that they are doing right now. And I can see clearly that all of this is happening now for a reason. And that is not to minimize the suffering of anyone. I've been crying all day long. I went to church this morning where we talked about this. I've seen it all over social media. And it is a collective sadness that needs to be looked at. The difference between a man and a king or a queen is that a queen does not avert her eyes. You look towards it. That's what's being called for right now. Look, we are in a time of chaos. And it is going to get worse before it gets better. And in these times in the past, this is how we end up with leaders like Hitler and Stalin. These times of uncertainty, humans have a tendency to look for somebody that has the answers, somebody that gives them a firm foundation that they can stand upon. The problem is that firm foundation comes at a cost, and that cost is you giving your power over to somebody or something else. And once that happens, it is very difficult to take it back. You cannot, we cannot, I cannot look to the external to be saved. The only way is to shift our internal state, to shift what is happening inside, to step the fuck up. And to stop passively accepting what is coming to the world. And we need to be careful here. The solution to hate is not more hate. It's not more anger. It's not being mad at President Trump. It's not being mad at Israelis or Palestinians. It's none of that. It's getting our own house in order. Feeling our heart, letting the walls down, letting the pain in. This is the revolution, not against some government. In church this morning, the pastor was talking about his disdain for biblical statements that get turned into essentially what are bumper stickers. And the one that he brought up today was faith over fear. And he showed these hilarious Instagram pictures of it on a hoodie. And what he brought up is that it's not in the Bible. First of all, nowhere does it say faith over fear. What it says in the Bible in John is love over fear. And so it's not biblically accurate. One, two, what the hell does it even mean, faith over fear? Love over fear gives us a directive. It is something to do. Love is the connective tissue of the universe. It is in every act that comes from our heart. And that's the key. It is an act. It is a doing. We must take action. And I know if you are anything like me and you have any amount of sensitivity, it is incredibly difficult to take action in a time like this because it hurts. Because all we can feel is the pain and the anxiety and the fear. And that's exactly what forces in this world who, for lack of a better term, are evil, are counting on. The devil is real. There are forces, and you might not use that word for it, but there are forces here that are meant to keep us stuck and trapped. that feed off all of this negative energy that's moving around the world. And so it is our job to learn to harness that chaos so that we can use it instead of whatever that thing is that's feeding on it is using it. Harnessing the madness, harnessing the chaos. Right before I made this video, I thought about not making it because of the state that I was in. And I looked at Instagram. And when I looked at Instagram, I saw a video of the man who killed Osama bin Laden essentially speaking about the fact that he sees clearly now that he was playing the game of a politician who is mad because another politician said he was going to kill his father. And then I saw a statement from 1984 from George Orwell's book where he said the purpose of the war, and I'm paraphrasing here, is not to win the war, it's to keep the war happening. Harnessing that energy is the key. When Jordan Peterson first hit the scene, I was really in love with his ideas, and some things have transpired over time that I've fallen out of love with him, but he still says some things that are incredibly impactful and helpful, and one of them is to get your own house in order. That's what is called for right now. That is the solution. And what he means by getting your own house in order is so many of us want to be armchair quarterbacks. We're on the couch telling the world what needs to happen, telling the US what their policy needs to be, letting Iran and Israel know what they need to know. Meanwhile, your relationship with your wife and kids is falling apart. You're miserable at work. You're not taking care of your physical body. All of the things that are within your sphere of control or influence are not being addressed because it feels so much easier to just spew this nonsense from your mouth. When you get yourself in order, that is when the world is going to change. We've got to realize that change is going to happen from the bottom up this go around. We've gone through centuries of top-down change, and we are at the end of it. The power is with we, the people. And as I was thinking through that statement, I want to flip that first word to be the people. We need to be the people who can create this change. Lead yourself to become the person that lives in a world without war, that lives in a world without all this suffering. If you don't like society as it is right now, you've got to start playing a new game. Not, having one foot in and one foot out. Not saying that you don't like how things are going, but then giving your life over to a system that takes you and basically turns you into a battery for a machine that is causing the war in the first place. This is when I say be an outlaw. This is what I'm talking about. We have to pull ourselves from these systems. We've got to create new ones ourselves. And again, we cannot throw out the baby with the bathwater. We cannot turn this into a reaction as opposed to a revolution. Are you a reactionary or are you a revolutionary? Are you responding in anger and spite? Or is there something bubbling up inside of you that you know is true, that needs to be addressed and that needs to be changed? You're not going to be able to wait for the rules to change. They're not going to. The people that write the rules are in control, and they're not going to change them. So we obey new rules. We break the rules that we don't agree with. We become an outlaw. We trust in our gut. We trust in our intuition. We trust in what we know is right and what we know is wrong instead of what we're told is right and what we're told is wrong. It's time to rock the fucking boat. And the way that you rock the boat is to step up. We see all of these movies that show us heroes and heroines going through some of the most harrowing and difficult times. Meanwhile, we're not willing to get a night, and I'm speaking for myself here, with 6 hours of sleep because I feel too bad afterwards. Are you kidding me? We've gotten too comfortable. I've gotten too comfortable. I know you can sense the anger, and it's not directed at anyone. And I'm actively working on transmuting it. It's why I'm making this video, and I encourage you to do the same thing. Turn your anger into art, into something helpful, into words that change things, into an image that makes people feel something. Ooh. All right, that feels like it for today.